Hi friends, this is lesson 15 problem set, and in this lesson we are looking at tape diagrams and factors of 4, but we're also layering in the commutative property, and you'll see that what I mean by that in the first problem. So let's look at it. It says label the tape diagrams and complete the equations. So if we look at the first tape diagram, they've labeled it with 4. We're going to put the word ants on there because we want it to be thorough. And then we're going to look at the groups. Well, we can see that there's one group here and one group here. So there's 2 groups, so I need to label that down below. And don't try to fit your words into those boxes. They're not big enough, so just write outside of them like I did. Okay, and then we need one more label, and that's our total. So if we look at this as 4 ants, that's 5, 6, 7, 8 ants total. So that's our last label of our 3. And we don't have any question marks here because this really isn't a word problem where we're trying to solve for one piece or the other. If you look at these number sentences here, we're definitely solving for the total, but that's not the point of this whole problem. So let's fill in our number sentence. We've got 2 groups that we labeled, 4 in each group that was labeled, for a total of 8 that we just figured out. Okay? Look at the next one now. This time we have 2 ants in each group. How many groups are there though? We've got 1, 2, it's just fun to use these colors, 3, and 4 groups. Okay, so I've got to label that now. 4 groups. And my total is 2, 4, 6, 8 ants still. So if I go over here to this multiplication sentence, it's showing me 4 groups, 2 in each group, for a total of 8. So if we look at these 2 equations together, this shows us the commutative property. 2 times 4 is 8, 4 times 2 is 8, so we could actually say 2 times 4 is equal to 4 times 2, because this answer is 8, and that answer is 8, and 8 is equal to 8. Okay? The only thing we've done is we've flip-flopped where our factors are in the number sentence. Let's do another one. Flowers this time, I guess. I think that's what these are. So, looks like I've got something on here. Okay, so if I count the number in this box, I've got 4 flowers. So I'm going to label that. And I'm just going to draw some circles in the other boxes to represent the 4 flowers that belong in each. Okay. Now I've got 1 section, 2 sections, 3 sections, so that's 3 groups of flowers. In a word problem, it might have said 3 baskets of flowers, 3 flower boxes with 4 flowers in each. So if we count them up, we've got 4, 8, 12 flowers. And we've got a number sentence to go with it. So our first factor is always our number of groups. So I go back here, I see that's 3 groups. And our total is on the bottom. So 3 times 4 equals 12. Okay, now let's look at the partner one down here. How many are in each group? 3, right? 3 flowers becomes our label on the top. We're going to draw 3 circles in each one to finish the picture. We can count up our groups. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 groups this time. And count up the flowers. We've got 3, 6, 9, and 12. So we've got 12 flowers total. So going to our number sentence, 4 groups. The size of each group is 3 for a total of 12. So again, you're looking at this saying they both have the same total, the factors are flipped, and the pictures are a little bit different. So again, like the first one, this is the same as saying 3 times 4 equals 4 times 3, because 3 times 4 is 12, and that equals the same answer as 4 times 3, which is 12. Okay, let's do one more. This time I've got 4 stars in each group, so I'm going to label that up at the top, 4 stars. And I'm just going to put dots in each one because it's quick. And I am not in art class, so I just want it to be a quick picture to show what I know. Now, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 groups. And I need to count them all up. But one thing I notice is over here, they tell us the total, yeah. So we can just put it down here as 28 stars. But we can count it too. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28. So now what? Well, we've got to put our number of groups, which was 7. The size of each group is 4. So 7 times 4 is 28. And the last one, nothing in there. Oh my goodness. Well, we know from our previous problems that we're going to flip-flop these factors. So this is going to be a 4. This is going to be a 7. So 4 groups, we see that, right? 4 groups. We're going to label that underneath. 7 in each group, so that means I'm going to put 7 stars up here and start making my 7 dots in each box. Alright, that's 7, but it looks like a bunch of other ones. So, how many total do we have? We have it already in here, so let's label that 28 stars. Alright, so that's how we can show with tape diagrams what's going on with the commutative property. Now let's flip to the back. Okay. Problem number 2 says draw and label 2 tape diagrams to model how the statement in the box is true. That's what we were talking about on the other page. So we just have to kind of label these and fill them in. So I'm going to take this first number sentence and just write it right here, 4 times 6. And I'm going to take the second one and write it down here. So this is 6 times 4. And I'm going to take what I know about multiplication sentences and tape diagrams and label it up. So this one tells me I got 4 groups. So I'm going to label this 4 groups. 6 in each group, so 6 dots, and then I'm going to put them in there. And I'm going to figure out how much that equals. 6, 12, 18, 24. And then I'm going to do the next one. This one has 6 groups. So I can divide it in half and make 3 sections on each side of that divider line. Make sure you count them to make sure you have the right number of sections. Okay, and I'm going to label that 6 groups. Oh, I forgot something on the one above. 24 total, right? 24 dots. Here we're going to have 4 dots in each, because that's what our multiplication sentence tells us. So we dot that up. And if I count it up, I've got 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. Surprise! They're equal. So I'm going to label that down here, 24 dots. Okay, so they're the same size total, and we can see that because the rectangles are the same size, but they have different number of sections or groups, and then a different number in each group, but the total is the same. Super fun. All right, last one. Grace picks 4 flowers from her garden. Each flower has 8 petals. Draw and label a tape diagram to show how many petals there are in total. Right, well, when we're doing problem solving, we should start with our answer sentence. So we go back to what they're asking us to solve for. It says, to show how many petals there are in total. So our word sentence is going to be, there are blank petals. We're going to come back and fill that in later. So let's show what we know. Okay, I'm going to draw a bracket. I know down here is my number of groups and my total, and up here will be my size of my group. So I'm going to go back to the problem. Grace picks 4 flowers from her garden. Each flower, there's that clue word, has 8 petals. So if the 8 petals is going to be my size of the group because of the each, that tells me that the 4 flowers are going to be my groups. Each flower holds 8 petals. So I'm going to label this 4 flowers and make 4 sections. And then I'm going to label this with the 8 petals. Whatever this label is up here on top has to match what you have in the box. Okay? So now you can put whatever you want in here. I'm just going to put the number 8 because drawing that many dots takes a long time. But it also helps you to count up 4 groups of 8. So do what you need to do to solve the problem correctly. Okay, the other thing we're missing is our question mark. We don't know how many total petals there are in the whole thing on all 4 flowers. So we're almost done. We just need our number sentence. We have 4 groups times 8 in each group gives us a total of, drum roll, 32 petals. So that's how you use tape diagrams to show the commutative property of multiplication. Now go ahead and get started on your homework.